Kojo, you introduce me.
Yes.
Tobo and welcome you to the team on the table.
My man can be bencho. Akugan did not experience the excesses of 1979
and 81.
No, can the all canon. If you know what some of us went through, you wouldn't sit here and talk this way.
And if you knew what Kwame Nkrumah's family went through,
so the same
NPP.
So the same thing should be done.
That is why we don't need to experience it.
Please.
But the people will be carefully told, perfectly dramatized. What am I saying?
Where you them Pacho Maminti?
Remember, yesterday, and Kwafaya Pamu Free, everybody came to tell their story.
Anyway, let's fast forward.
Thank you very much. Fast forward. We lost the 2000 elections. You lose 2000 elections, NDC, because it was formed in power. We saw people, or we heard people. Ana omudin tintimai, the formation of NDC, and nay, your friend is saying PNDC muninan. Ebi so, media me call retirement. Oh, media me call kodi hene. Into politics in Mejai, people started leaving NDC. That was the time. Yes, swa eka egu NDC so. Yes, say, or PPP tansa, and na sometimes na three radio stations no abasu ye pa bra kwame. The stories, we couldn't even respond to it. In 2004. And your current general secretary. At that time now, or your propaganda secretary came out and said, if we don't tell our story, if we don't set the record straight, power, your friend of power, give to me and maybe you. That was when we launched setting the record straight.
Okay.
Started telling our story. And sana Ghana for who say sena NDC no, it is not as bad as people made us to believe. To me send this atade mpo enfemura Kumasi dwem. Eastern region Koforidua to me send this atade kra so wo twem wo ho ana say bibia etisa. That was how vindictive the nation had become. But through the setting the record straight, that narrative changed. And kakra we started eroding all these things from Yahoo. Fast forward, yes, I saw Ababeko elections at a mills and ana eba. Yahoo said the way a Enyamano Esifa Ekono. SC Jina Yanasu.
So, maybe say, okay, now what does it have to do with the Bank of Ghana story?
Oh, no. Okay, I said press conference. Setting the record straight and why we had that press conference.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling you that.
Me too.
So, gradually, we had to take that scales off our skin. Yeah, Babeko elections. Yeah, be who ane say, obe sorry anopa. Na efunu eda bonting. Obe sorry anopa. Na news all over. Another woman killed. Dirty stories. I'm attention about my Ghana to the extent to say another lady said Martina Yutomu Fiti Accra may call Northern region. Now I'm Roberts as topo Yuton Basono and ma a remun a walk carnimunina ye you messi abonti a repumunina I mean Yuton rape saga.
No, what does it have to do with NDC?
Exactly, because we were in power. NPP was saying the nation has become insecure. That was the insecurity tag. And that was what made the NPP win the your friend is saying 2000 elections. We have gone through a lot because
I mean now you turn then year 2000 though.
Yes.
Maybe
okay, I say fast forward. That's why I'm putting all together and then I'll come back to where we are now and the same game are Omu play. So we went through this. Afe yase why abra
I mean now you turn there for a dumfono.
Yes. Beji we na Then fast forward. John Dramani Mahama so Abba.
Yeah.
odi dwuma so no wobɛhwɛ ene wobɛda na okwakwada na okwanye wobɛsɔre anopa ekwan so tum yesi hospital na yesi e-block na yesi schools na yesi airport whatever name them NPP who say sa achievement na ye no yanhwe yi a ye de fonfon beda ne wo mokwaye and let's change the narrative ana ye kofa a confirm a ometuo ebaye a confirm ometu ko Burkina minim krofo ambekra wo mo Ghana say NPP for ne bekra mo hu say ometu efiri ha e de ko Burkina friend is saying obi ema mienu kra ediom nkomo abako akoka say papa no eno so ebeye campaign issue ewa ha. They use everything to change the narrative on the achievement of NDC and tangential issues. Ena omodechi NDC for adwene. Fast forward, you could lose sa elections, you know. And then ya science so aba power. All these things and the way the route with which you fire at the bar power. I can always thank my boss Sami Jenfi, who led the communication with some great force and speed that we have never seen before. Yadiba power. Yaba abemubi no. Development has started eba. Debt to GDP progressively strong. Inflation rate eba from prices of goods and services eba from many others. The ebe huwa NSA ye MPs led by Insawom Aduwajiri MP at TSC.
Another prayer.
Okoso so asanka no kura wo mu kura na nka wo ka kebeka say wo opposition adaje wa eni de obeyi. But de koye no different narrative. One, say ena musika no e wo joma ma ho. Wati musika so eno de akwakoto plane e de ama Ninua Ibrahim Mahama. Na ye TSC ebrofuo mu. Yasemu mo ebro na on kan tro say your friend is saying ebro na ebusu ne mo hard work no na de on ka. Osio John Mahama ene NDC for akwakokra ebro efri Brazil e de aba. Inti ebro na busu our system ti mumu de ende ye ntone ne ye ntone china ebe pro egu dem. Nansenya ye decide yes ye change transformers enade no ebi enenam ene yenya campaign message dum so asamba yanka nkyere mo say bra kwame
yeah
recently ena Bank of Ghana say me so omode ababe boom. Don't forget yesterday up gold board say procurement ye procure enyema without due process without procurement law ye bibia so sourcing enade. Then it came to the big push. Yes, big push way. Friend is a contract on my money no. So sourcing. And so we decided say why NDC yediko opposition. Any akoshie yetenase Emma NPP for etwagu yaso. And no ena EDA eco opposition every time. So this time round, though in power, though Felix Kwachofosu is doing brilliantly well with the accountability series, you know. And no a project and Yamapa NDC, yeah. Any your ministries, you know, programs are agencies, you know, so the brilliant work they are doing perfect. However, as NDC,
yeah.
As the communication office,
yeah,
we must relaunch this setting the record straight. Sena Ebeya, we will address some of the lies that they will shun out. Brakwami sometimes na yempeni for eka say, oh kontompo die, o man kwai ema ni di wanima, eye den ya no kre ebeba be sign ho. One here no time no crebe sign on near opposition to say 2016. In 2016, when people realized a Juma Suna John Dramani Mahama people ask say inti mo ye win na na mo dey call opposition is because we couldn't address the lies. We gave it too much room. And sana yebo opposition, people realizing it and bringing John Dramani Mahama back. But where we are now, we have decided say me kwa koda anajo na se hu se akohie bi omakoyo either press conference, media engagement, whatever. Na omo di akohie eba akoshi eba. The next morning, yes, your research team will respond to them in equal measure. Senebeya, sa akoshino, to me and travel beyond a day or two. Na yebe to me esiano. Senebeya said when people are doing their analysis or facts from the left, facts from the right. Na omwan kasano, ome to me esijina, na ome decide the truth in all that. Say you be jamo, field day in opposition, so that thing will not happen. So that was why we addressed the press.
Okay, interesting. Ain't you free say Bank of Ghana DNA akushisem no mudi. Omotum futregu ni penny. Once we are to know,
yes.
Okay, be about our research team. Na Messer say never underestimate say a Kanye high because nipa biwa they lived it. Senamidi can catch on. Now the reason Tiamika say move on. There are people with scars, but they don't want to talk about the scars. Inti ebia when be ebia one TB ebia ankawa busuya. Papa,
I made mention of excesses. Excesses happened.
But when you say,
but a kania a high never happened.
Because unnim.
Brakwame, it never happened.
Because you don't know.
Brakwame, you see. Any parkour, those who know should come also and tell us.
Okay, so now listen to some people who know.
Very good.
Kwame Atiogbe says, KSK, ask anybody who was born and raised in Kofodia. It happened at Jackson Park. Tell Akogan. This one says, tell Akogan, I said with due respect, he shouldn't remind some of us. Kweku Boachi and a day by.
You see,
and my third one. Daniel Daku says, Akogan, this is your analogy. Everybody knows what happened to Engineer Kwabena J. Japan's father, but he did not appear at the commission.
Thank you.
So not everybody.
Thank you.
Who was hurt will appear.
Thank you.
So my apostle to us.
Difference me into Kwabena J. Japan didn't come, but everybody knew his story and how his father died. Nobody can joke with such a story. But Nipa Mienu Aka say it happened in Jackson's Park. But also say don't let us be remembered. These were stories that let me tell you something. The home I am from. Me mame, eye NPP ni besine. Oye ofritakwa banso. Efritano dumase. Wobi a onim tano dumase bi say oho mampon. Your friend is saying oho na NPP no ni fruma ewo. The stories that personally I even heard growing up, I never liked. Obi onim woni boy town bia when I was contesting as an assemblyman. Mene Pomeyi was representing NDC. Kwabena Frane, may his soul rest in peace, was NPP's candidate. I contested that elections, knowing say assembly elections, not any partisan. And me, with the support of the youth, may say I am contested. I contested. Kwabena Frane won. I came second. And Pomeye, the NDC's candidate, may he's also so rest in peace. And now, the next time, and that time, my ideology, because everybody knows me, my father died when I was 9. To me, my mina erasing me and all that. Into where my mother belonged was where I belonged. Intermediate, not MPP, me wafafo obia. That was the conversations. So this Ayekania Ayehine, I heard it when I was 8 years, 9 years coming up. This is the story. The stories out there. Okay. I decided and made a position. Me assembly elections. Maybe a second. and NDC for a cash and say, Massa, with your performance last time, come and let's throw our support behind you, and then you win. So with that support, I went to AMA 2007, 2008. Patriotias here. So when it comes to these things that are being said, and then those stories are out there, but people are not realizing the truth around it because people are now speaking. In Tukasebe, I never lived it and all those stories. Victor Owusu, the late Victor Owusu, I can tell you a story that personally he shared in our presence. Raku Brobi, personal stories that he shared in our presence. So some of these things, you know, say hearsay, you know, yadru babia, sabin prayers, in Pempenswa yedri, we must shelve it off. Now people will confront the truth. Nanka woka sanwaka say, asimesi enye, nan the shop enye, way and at all, no. These stories you will never hear anywhere. Brakwame.
Mate, you began to answer. Now, those who lived it know the story. But me person may be a crew. You began to answer. Yeah, you nim, yeah, you who be. Nina will live with it. Oh, Debbie, I was 9 years old.
So, but you saw other excesses.
There was no way me here. By a titi bebre. Yeah, my menom, yeah, aunties no mukujum near dear. Yeah, titi bebre.
I appreciate that.
But some men make us the meaning where you know correct.
That's it.
By a titi bebre. This last one from.
That's why.
What's it?
You see, you have always been an honest person.
This one from Asantua says, Kwame, market women receive beatings at Kofodia Jackson Park. Most of these women died before President Kufuor's reconciliation. Their children didn't want to go through the shame, but let's leave it like that. I guess I'll leave it like that. This last one says, Akogan, my grandmother's best friend died. Her name is Antia. After they caned her in a private part in front of my mother at KJTia, her case was that she had a case of alcohol in her shop. My own mother received slaps. She had her hair shaved, even though she was only in front of the shop and not inside. Please, let's stop this.
Her grandmother's friend.
It doesn't speak.
The same speculations.
Hey, obviously, the grandmother friend also a speculation.
Anyway. Or not the name I mean, it was a slap.
Anyway.
But the unknown person, it was a higher cania.
Okay.
This has been the stories around.
Egbes Wallace says, Chairman General, please let's forgive our brother Akogan. Saying emphatically that it did not happen only opens old wounds and stirs hatred of those horrid times. Anyway, we leave it. As I said, I'm exercising.
How entrenched some of these stories are.
Akogo said it happened, so let's leave it.
This is the craft of the NPP. That setting the record straight, will have to deal with it. Because nobody and no group of people have come out to say it as it is. And
the last
so when
one.
People are sending such message. I can appreciate it.
I'll go the last one, and I promise I won't go back to this topic.
Let us say.
Because I know a lot of people who suffered some of these things.
Yes.
Obi says, Sasa, I says, okay, if Akwe doesn't believe it, since he says he has a research team, ask him to do a little research in Kofodia and ask about a lady at the time called Matesco. I leave it there.
What happened to her? Excesses.
Well,
excesses, which we have all admitted.
Also, with the question Matesco. Anyway, I don't want to continue this. Kojo Thompson or Hannah, Kojo Martin?
Yeah.
Was it Mali morning?
A Mali morning, and then 45 years. Was it?
In some what?
Nasa Bobo dear. Bob Mali dear. She said, "Oh, your prophet."
I see.
Uti and some oka. Uti themes or you suit in your motto. Now, to think he's been gone 45 years today.
Wow.
Now, still Bob Malia. Nipa bebre have still omunya sa vibe na. I just say no nipa strongko.
The areas intime to us already.
Oh, one love say beat me to sorry them. One love say beat me say one love could be a sample the gospel music.
Oh, yeah.
Nenyum no dear. Yes, in Tampina, the many people be doing it differently, but and yeah, no uncle, Yamini papa, spiritual person, pa. Internet 45 years.
Oh, wow.
Now, tell you my boss is here, forever loving Jah. Just said, Debia, I don't yanko pong.
Bravo, I mean, so we see me, I make you.
I don't happen to mabem. Okay, I could get Chiahoni uncle.
Maybe I say, make you home,
Prof. Million Kuma Radio or your problem child.
Now, what should be any Muslim?
Or your problem child.
What was it?
But we need to know, man.
What's up for that so far?
Papa.
Maybe a show now.
Aye.
No, Iran and Israel.
Yeah. Aye.
Also, can say
Mahama best stop.
Mahama best stop.
Aye. And go see you.
I was stopping.
I'll stop away. When you go away, or your problem child. Just don't me don't intimidate me, can answer. Or your bonnet crowd may many. Uncle, walk out there.
Now we are doing Yamako.
Yeah, 9th November.
Now, can say problem child now. Makai, your friend is saying former mayor of Accra.
Adri Blankson na.
Adri Blankson. Na yet Adri Blankson na wa assembly. One day, you drew yena many teacher Razak. You call in the office. You share a white shirt. You see a baby chiana and Sunday assembly. Oh hey di. I say nyenyo kek be wo aspa tripu atole gbomo to wait say kramai o share space kra na your friend no nipa da they born in the exercise. Interesting. It's the problem already I'm watching.
Just your problem child for tomorrow France.
Management.
Oh, man manage you side man.
Oh, yeah, call BP.
BP. The any BP.
No, want to kill.
Debbie. Two managing sa. Ako pimra ai Nyankopon beto ne safro. It is an amenity. Na ako.
Bra.
Me manage you last week. Oh, yeah, press conference.
Yeah.
And then perceive this uncommon.
But to one side.
No abutre, meet you.
And run a Mother's Day.
And
you know, medical mammy, Beatrice to 4. Happy Mother's Day.
Madam Beatrice to 4, your ma official pa.
Mama, me mammy no mina, so me fa omunsem, my sword day near Yina no, or mutumi crack me bedru say. Na men sign so me mama back so I make us rano and ra Mrs. Lawson or no so ewo near boy town.
Okay.
Apparently ne machine no or the super glue action or that piece of into conversations a course soon you know the nkura yeme and ra was a playback and it was so interesting. Mrs. Lawson me mama Memano, happy Mother's Day again. Na minim so wotie we the by this time was sria ewu. Now since see the meeting how Miss Wareka Kran makotena nim ho minim bia and she's also in her late 70s. Late 70s so nra 80 there. Yes. Into me mono ne nebusuafo nyina so na me pastor Reverend Kwame Boateng Sapon yere me 6 Victoria Boateng Sapon and I'm a pastor Reverend Selena Klu and a man nyina e wo Ghana me de bia me ka say mothers is not by virtue of the womb but it's always about the heart because it will be a hokra sebe periodiasa on fire funuda and so nkwada afa ne nsem a watete wo no enye adeketwa nti ebe fa sa akonya we so nyina na ya wish all mothers a very happy and happy season na medi ewie so no mema no so mo bo omhomoden a omoyire eni ho a omutumi ehwe fie ne so no me mamo a very happy partial Mother's
Interestingly, Okasana Umame you know, my usually say the NPP, my saying you say there's an old Jewish proverb that says God could not be everywhere, so he made mothers.
Wonderful.
Oh wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Says God could not be everywhere, so he made mothers. Inti ena numina yamamo afishapa eswe nyakopon shira emamo afideni na enkwatenti ahondin wom.
Brapa maybe you ever say so about press conference no. Or say ene eye Mali day.
Mr. Mali.
You know correct 45 years on. Ye nyina ye mi say wherever we are either yeah so for yeah
talking about us so for na me be catch prof anybody area.
Okay. All right. Into no so your software we a teacher ni we a politician we a radio TV presenter. How long or how far will your words remain in the hearts and the minds of people? And your musicians be to say Bob Marley. It looks like they are addressing issues today. That is how depth some people can be. And Oshe and maybe and Crophobia so aka in their lives, in their lifetime. Obebi sa who say and ne adia AC and who semna in the parkway no kana. But you realize that these words were 50 years ago and some more than 50 years ago. Inti ene asema ya babeka o studio they ya candidate near year 50 years down the line. Say yetias you say yentias you say yeah playback at the amaya. How would we
tear and you proclaim as if nothing like that happened, but people are concocting stories. Kwame, now Papa, your deputy managing director, a Cocoa board, in charge of finance. Now you was CMB apartments near what Domi. The executive flats near 1 to 10. We are at number 3. My brother Koloke gate, even though we had this and there, but every time my father will make sure that you check the gates are locked, the doors are locked, everything. All piano now who so geniwo gate nature. That time na ku naba. Sorry, say no Johnny be share them. Or drink so good. There's care alone. My brother Penny, there's care alone. They were the first people that were sacked by Rawlings in 1979 when the coup d'etat came. Why? Because or say omutina ho and enjoy air condition. In a farmers cocoa, a good field no so na air pro because the roads were bad. When the people were being lashed at the market, markets were being broken, say, rats near there, say, even some of them share earrings. We're seeing this live on TV. Yeah, stripping naked, yeah, sure. Now we be on 9 now what you now say, that is how the Kanya came. You open your legs, a woman, with private parts. Now we're looking at it on TV. When things were going on. What are you talking about?
Wouldn't GBC have heard it?
Why do you think GBC was bent? Why do you think GBC was bent?
GBC in the copy.
Gentlemen,
GBC in the copy.
Gentlemen,
how can you see what happened there? And those excesses, we have always admitted to it. What we are talking about is a high Kania. That was the only point of your first departure.
Okay.
Excesses, everybody said it.
But where were you?
Maybe
nobody should talk.
What we done on TV? And we said GBC here.
But did you listen to what I was saying? My brother ran from the gate into the room. My brother ran from the gate into the room. My father had to flee this country for some time because of his dear life. You know the number of people, the benefits in Puwe because of all these excesses. And you sit here and you think it's okay for us to justify it and say that, yeah, don't let us remember some of us and pains I go through. The cries we had to go through just because of the 1979 coup and compared to the 83. Please.
81, not 83.
81. 83 na come no buy no. 81. Please, let us not, and yes, it's a marrow. And yes, sir, Samara. Please. That time maybe I know so you didn't know what went on. Ask your mother why till now she still doesn't, even though you are a big member in the NDC, she still doesn't want to support NDC. Some of the things they saw, why you can't even talk about it.
Mama conversation here.
I'll give you one example.